So, what are we seeing here? Is this the changing of the Dragon Team Guard? Yajirobe, strongest there is? Hey folks, MasakoX here. On this channel, we like to give some lesser known characters the chance to do better by looking to the main character for inspiration. In this world, where Goku is the strongest one going and somebody who's quite likeable, there aren't many people who have the drive and initiative to do better and to try and surpass him specially. I mean, well, with the possible exception of Tenshinhan. I mean, that's been his MO ever since he met him, even with him becoming a good guy. In this story, we have another person who might be a likely candidate to outdo Goku when it comes to power and potential. Now, if only he had the initial spark to go with it. Yes, it's that time again. We are now seeing the likes of Yajirobe finally getting the push to do better as a Dragon Team member outright, and starting to train more like Goku. Now, if you're thinking that this is something that could never happen, you might be mistaken actually. Based on what we know from power levels, character bios and whatnot, it does turn out that Yajirobe was actually pretty skilled and pretty powerful back in the early Dragon Ball days, much more so than you might think. His power was pretty close to Goku for a long time, and the only reason he fell to the wayside in the later years, pretty much past the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, was simply for the fact that makes up his entire character. He's absolutely and positively bone idle. He is lazy. He is apathetic about everything. And thusly, he doesn't look to improve it at nearly the same pace as anyone else because he doesn't feel like it. The only reason he trained before Vegeta and Nappa arrived was basically because he had to. He was forced to. However, here, his spark came naturally. Towards becoming a stronger fighter, it was much more substantial as well. In the last part, Kami had weirdly invited Yajirobe to come and train with him, having previously been overlooked in favour of Goku. You see, the Ronin is one for grudges and harbouring them for so long. He chose to initially refuse this invite out of spite, but come on, this was a chance to train with Kami. He did do it eventually. Now, despite this animosity, he had become friends with Korin still, and the cat had primed him ready for the training ahead, suggesting he should do it. Things started off quite frostily, but in the end, both he and Kami were able to see eye to eye with one another about things and then come to terms with each other. It got to the point where Yajirobe elected to spend an entire year in the Room of Spirit and Time, which he would go on to describe to everybody involved as the best year of his life, in that he didn't have to talk to anybody, do anything that he didn't want to, do whatever. Thanks to this freedom and solitude, this led to an incredible boost in his power, going to around 600 or so, twice that of Goku presently. The Ronin had become, inadvertently, the most powerful man who had ever lived. Now revitalized with his introverted nature, Yajirobe went on to honor his promise to fight Goku once more, and the pair met on good terms and after a good lunch. Chi-Chi was noticeably concerned with how far Goku was pushing himself. It had been a good long while since the battle had begun, and Yajirobe hadn't even broken a sweat. It was even starting to unsettle the Ronin himself. He was expecting some kind of a challenge to be had here, but what he was getting was butt kiss. It was kind of sad. Whilst Goku was loving this fight despite being on the back foot, Yajirobe was kind of disappointed.
Goku, what's going on? Why aren't you trying? You're starting to get on my nerves.
Buddy, Goku was saying in between laboured breaths, I'm giving you all I got. You're just that good.
Oh? Well, I ain't even started yet.
Yajirobe decided to showcase his true potential, go all out. And this wasn't something Goku was prepared for. In the space of a few seconds, Yajirobe wiped the floor with Goku, catching him at every turn. The Ronin had totally outclassed the current World Martial Arts champion, leaving him on the ground, utterly floored. Goku was panting hard and Yajirobe wiped his brow.
Phew! Don't get it mad at me, pal. You asked for it.
Chi-Chi rushed over to her husband and checked to see whether he was okay. He was mildly injured from that battle, and she rounded on him. Don't you understand your power, you bully? You could have killed my husband!
Hey, he asked me to go all out, lady. Not my fault your hubby don't know when to quit.
Chi-Chi was scowling profusely, but Goku was waving her aside.
Relax, Chi-Chi. He's right. I wanted him to use everything he had against me. It's good to know. Roshi's lesson still applies. Say, you got one of those beans on you, Yajirobe? Kinda need one.
The Ronin checked his pocket, and indeed, he had a couple in there for emergencies. Food-related emergencies. Because he's fat. With reluctance, Yajirobe gave Goku one of them, and in seconds, Goku was rejuvenated.
Alright! Thanks, pal. You wanna go again? I feel great!
However, he got that brushed aside by both Yajirobe and Chi-Chi.
I'm tired, pal, but yeah, maybe later.
In the months that followed, Yajirobe and Goku would train together more. The Ronin was more receptive to this regimen, seeing as he was the one in the lead, and he was able to showcase his potential more and more on his terms. He got to do the best stuff, and he likes that. He wasn't being taught by anyone exactly. He was working with the kid that set about this journey to power, and recognizing his talents. That appealed to him. Also, his time with Kami had managed to light him up at least a little bit more. Not making him into a nice guy or anything, but hey, at least he was more able to read rooms and situations more aptly, be around people for longer. I mean, not much longer, but it's enough. But if the chance for being on his own came about, he would still take it. I mean, after all, he wouldn't be Yajirobe if he were a social animal through and through. And also thanks to this training, Goku and he got much stronger. Piccolo watched this from a distance and was getting concerned. He hadn't anticipated that these two would get so strong so fast. He was being left for dust. He had no choice but to up his training considerably. He couldn't rely on his latent potential and casual meditation anymore. And he also had to think dirty. He had to take things seriously. As a result, when it came to the time when a certain spiky-haired spaceman arrived in his pod, things would change quite a bit. Raditz exited his pod and had his legendary encounter with a farmer of some very strong, carrots. Yeah, after he had dealt with this miscreant, he had detected a strong power level, something in the region of 560. It was Piccolo, much stronger than he was in the original story at this point. When the two met, Raditz was very intrigued in seeing one of them lurking on this planet. They weren't supposed to be here. Piccolo was as terse as ever, and he told the Saiyan to take a hike. Raditz didn't take too kindly to this, and was ready to give this twerp a piece of his mind. Raditz surged forward and began to attack with Piccolo just about able to dodge his moves, but he couldn't hold back the hits when they did connect. He thought Yajirobe was a problem. This guy, though, was something else entirely. When Raditz had gotten bored of this guy, his scouter pinged back into life to inform them that more powers were on the planet, one being something that would be in the line of what he was looking for.
Ah yes, that must be Kakarot, with another powerful friend. This should be fun. Thank you, Namekian. You have proven to be a nice little warm-up. Don't get in my way, though, or else you might bug me.
With that, Raditz flew away, and Piccolo, he just stood there, wondering what a Namekian was, and how he was one. Sure enough, this battle was something that everyone else noticed, and as a result, they had a little bit more time to act. Goku told Bulma to get Gohan away from the island and to take him back home on the double. Gohan protesting, as well as Bulma. She was sure that this would be nothing, but Yajirobe then rounded on her.
Bulma, are you deaf? Get the kid out of here! This is serious!
Wow, Yajirobe taking something seriously. That carried more weight, no pun intended, than Goku's words, and so Bulma quickly got Gohan out of the way. They did so just in time. Just a couple of minutes later, Raditz arrived on Roshi's island. The team were looking very serious at the alien menace. Raditz was a little bit more cautious around these two than in the original story. Unlike Goku's original power of 350 or something, these two both had much powers and they were quite noticeable.
Well, well, I recognize that hair anywhere, brother.
Brother? What are you talking about? I don't have a brother.
That's where you're wrong, Kakarot.
We then get the revelation about Goku being a Saiyan, and this takes everyone aback. including Yajirobe.
Man, you're an alien, Goku? Whoa.
Admittedly, the Ronin found that to be kinda cool. He was friends with an alien. Nice. Raditz then tried to fathom why this planet wasn't ready for processing yet, but Goku then said that that's not gonna happen, whatever processing was, and they would fight him regardless of the fact that they may be related. Raditz was getting more and more riled by this insubordination. Not only had his brother failed to do what all Saiyans were supposed to do, but he was actually defending these weaklings.
Kakarot, listen! Your power is over 700. You outclass these worms by a mile! Well, I mean, except the fat one.
Yajirobe clenched his fist.
More of that and I'll fight you myself.
Raditz laughed.
That's a joke, right? You may be around the same level as my brother here, but I am stronger than any of you. Be careful what you say.
Yajirobe then whispered.
Hey, Goku, want to take this guy on together? I'm getting sick and tired of him lording it over us.
Yeah, let's do it.
Meanwhile, as that was going on, Piccolo had been smarting from his loss to Raditz, and he wanted to get his own back. He was heading in the direction of Kame House, where he could sense where that alien had gone. He wanted to get his own back. But then, he spotted a craft with the power of... I think that was Goku's kid on it. He deviated from it and decided to hatch a plan. No one else of significance was on that craft. He flew up to Bulma's ship and hovered in front of it with Bulma putting on the brakes.
Whoa! Is that Piccolo? Oh man, what does he want?
Gohan had no idea who this Piccolo was, and was curious who this green man was.
I've come for the kid, woman. Hand him over.
No way! Why should I?
She said over the craft speakers.
That alien, he's killed Goku!
Bulma was stunned.
Goku?
Goku was dead? I mean, she couldn't sense energy, so couldn't double check. Gohan was floored too.
That thing is coming this way to finish the job. Give the kid to me, and I can get him out of here faster than your rust bucket.
Bulma wasn't sure what to do. Goku had sensed something big coming his way, and Yajirobe had taken it seriously, but surely he could have taken him on. And Yajirobe? Did this mean that he was dead too? Well, I mean, if they were, they needed to protect Gohan, and so Bulma told Piccolo to come aboard and gave Gohan to the Namekian.
Now, Gohan, tell your mother we're alright. We'll try to gather the Dragon Balls and wish for your father back. Got it? Piccolo, you take care of him.
Piccolo waved through this and took Gohan away. But not before blasting Bulma's ship out of the sky, though, sending it tumbling to the sea. Up in the sky, Kami sensed all of this happen and sighed.
Piccolo, you picked now to cause trouble? You and your bruised ego.
Back at Kame House, both Yajirobe and Goku were about to fight Raditz when Kami telepathically told them that Gohan had been taken by Piccolo out of the blue, and Bulma was in danger. Goku cursed at Piccolo's underhanded nature.
Goku, you go get your boy. I'll deal with that pineapple head over there. Boy, Kakarot! You mean you had a kid? You seriously mated with these things? Shut up, loser!
Yajirobe retorted.
I'm your guy. Goku will be back, don't you worry. Let's do this.
Yajirobe got into position as Goku hailed Nimbus to go and check on Bulma.
You got this, pal.
Goku thumbs up his friend.
Don't sweat it.
And Goku flew away. Raditz was going to chase after him, but Yajirobe called him out.
You're not running away from this, chump. Let's go somewhere bigger to fight. Ah, yes, of course. We need someplace bigger for your bigger frame.
With that, Yajirobe chose to vent his anger by doing his signature running technique, running across the ocean at full speed back to the mainland. He had a couple of beans on him, again for hunger purposes, and used one when he got there, Raditz barely being able to keep up. The Ronin, though, looked up to the sky and had to admit to himself that he did find the idea of being able to fly pretty cool. Goku got to Bulma's shipwreck quickly with Nimbus, and found out from the stricken woman that Piccolo was long gone.
Aren't you going to go after him, Goku? I would, but I can't sense him anywhere. He's gone off grid. Damn it. Now what? I gotta deal with that Raditz guy first, though. But after that's over with, I'll go and get my son back. You think Yajirobe can handle this guy on his own? Well, I think so. He's stronger than me, after all.
He looked quite assured of himself. However, we cut back to the fight, and Yajirobe is struggling. He hadn't expected to be fighting on his own, but he was up for the challenge. But it turned out that this challenge was pretty major.
I must say, human, to see a power of over 800, very good indeed, but not good enough against me. Well, not bad, Porcupine. You're gonna have to make me go all out then. All out, eh? You are full of surprises.
Yajirobe got into position, then started to take his clothes off. He took his top off, and all that remained was him in his underwear. Raditz was unsure what was going on and looked incredibly curious. Did nudity make you stronger on this planet? But then the scouter beeped.
Oh, so that little stunt made you stronger. 1,000? You might be interesting after all.
Yajirobe then pulled out his sword and readied it.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yajirobe then rushed forward with his sword and began to swing at Raditz quite rapidly, with the Saiyan having to actually try and dodge the blade. Raditz was starting to get a little nervous now. Clearly, when it came to close quarters, this guy might have had the edge.
Not bad, human, but are you ready for this?
Raditz pulls out a ki blast, thinking this would be enough concentrated energy to stop him, but the Ronin had an answer for that too. Remember, Goku had the Kamehameha. Yajirobe flew backwards and started spinning his katana around and around and around to take the blast, and thanks to this, much like what we got with Goku in GT, he had a shield and reflected the ki blast back at Raditz, who was not expecting this to hit. And it hit. An explosion rang through the air, and Raditz was left injured by his own attack.
What the bother was that? You're barking up the wrong tree, alien man. I'm full of surprises. Well, I've got a surprise for you. Double Sunday!
This was a little too much for the Ronin. The attack struck, and Goku sensed trouble, but he had arrived at the scene of the battle.
Ah, Kakarot! Better late than never. Although you might be too late to save your friend here. I'll hand it to you. He was quite fun. I mean, he even managed to blow some of my armor off.
Goku turned and spotted Yajirobe on the ground, on the brink of death. Goku clenched his teeth and rushed to his friend's side, but he didn't say anything. He just pointed to his pocket, and Goku got it in one. He pulled out a bean and gave it to Yajirobe, who recovered at once.
Phew! Oh, I love these things.
Raditz was stunned. How was he back to full health? Oh, great. Now, his fight was with two. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you folks think? How will this battle go now with Goku here? What are Piccolo's plans with Gohan now? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!